Something So Lovely by Salem T. Lynn. Chapter 1. Tonight, heaven is going to have a party. Although I'm not a social being, I have to admit the clashing of cultures captures my attention every single time. Angels, demons, and humans all mingling like it were normal. Maybe the reason I like it so much but never joined them is because I still don't know my place among them. I've heard the stories a million times. God creates heaven and the angels, they're great. God creates hell, throws all of his rejected creations in it. God creates earth and purgatory, and with them, the humans. Then purgatory is annihilated, and the humans become everyone else's problem, even the realms outside of our little corner of existence. The angels fall and become demons, and then God disappears. And we're all better off that way if you ask me. Nowhere in the story do I get answers, though. Nowhere do I figure out where I come from, or why I'm stuck here. I should be working, but the feeling is back. The feeling that something is waiting for me out past the doors of heaven's library and beyond the gilded golden gates that never open for me. I've tried, and though heaven accepts all visitors aside from the demons of hell, I'm the only thing not allowed to leave. All anyone can tell me is that when I'm supposed to know, I will. Whenever that is. Heaven's library boasts extraordinary stained glass windows. They depict the story of how all this came to be in stunning color that catches the sun just right no matter what time of day it is. My favorite has always been the one I find myself staring at now, the one that shows the fall of Lucifer and the angels who followed him. I've never so much as seen him, though I admire that he wasn't afraid to stand up for what he believed in and still does. I'd like to think that I could be like that in another life, instead of like me. Hello there, my love. The soft voice of heaven's librarian, my best friend, Celophiel, interrupts my daydreaming. He always has his long silver hair tied up so it falls down the middle of his back, and his eyes, a brown so soft it's almost golden, dance over everything they see. Watching him read has always been one of my favorite things, watching those eyes scan pages and get lost in them. He's slim and tall, not intimidating in the least, and with a laugh that echoes off the walls when heaven is graced by it. I guess we'll close the library early? I peer through the clear parts of the window to the streets outside, teeming with beings already getting ready, even though the party doesn't start until after dark. The demons, and even some of the humans, stand out against the rigid perfection heaven boasts with its grid-like streets and light barely their colors. Even the buildings on the outside all look like they fall together as if pieces of a grand puzzle. There is no room for what wasn't supposed to be, no need for the individuality and self-importance of the fallen. I'm helping set up tonight, so yes. Why? Do you have somewhere to be? No. I chuckle. The thought of me doing anything besides getting back to my little room as soon as I can to spend the night alone is pure fantasy. Well, I have to get going soon. Do me a favor and take care of reshelving the books on my desk. Then, after you lock up, you can come help me out. That sounds like work, I fake pout, which makes him laugh. Though it isn't hard to make Celophiel laugh. It somehow feels like an accomplishment every time I manage to do it. I can't not smile when he's smiling. Yeah, Calliope, it's work. I think you'll survive. You think so? The snark in my voice makes him shake his head at me. You should go this time. I heard Asmodeus will be there. Asmodeus? I try not to be obvious when I perk up, but that's hard. Celophiel has only the best things to say about the petulant youngest child of Lucifer and half-brother to heaven's highest ruler, Michael. Asmodeus's reputation, as told by others, is just as amusing. He'll flirt with anything that moves, and yet somehow still makes you feel special. He sleeps around, but you'll never forget him. He's the most charming thing in existence. For some reason, he never comes to these parties. Usually, he can only be found in hell. So the thought that I could be in the same room as him is alluring. Just to look, though. I don't see how I could possibly catch his eye when he has the pick of anyone that he wants. I'll introduce you. Celophiel laughs. Just don't tell Michael. Like I'd ever do that. I roll my eyes. Though Celophiel is one of the 6 heavenly rulers like Michael is, he's not often treated like it. Michael always finds something wrong with me, or the library, and Cel is usually the one trying to get him to lighten up. We've never had a conversation that didn't end with me wanting to throw something at Michael. Telling him that I want to meet his sinful half-brother would only make things worse for me. Good, because I think he's going to absolutely adore you. Why? I'm usually suspicious when Cellophil is planning something. He's never a planner. He very much goes with the flow. Anything that has his attention for more than a few moments is something to keep my eye on. It's not like it's obvious either, because Asmodeus is known for pursuing beauty, and I don't think I'm exceptional enough to matter to him. My hair is plain, black, wavy, and just below my shoulders. I'm pale, too pale. If I were a human, I'd look sick all the time. Though my eyes are blue and Cell says they're quite nice, I don't feel like they're enough to make someone like Asmodeus interested. I'm not even the height that sets me apart. Everything about me is underwhelming, and it's fine for the library, but not for an event like this. My dear, we all have secrets, he winks, and I find myself blushing in my cheeks and neck. Trust me, you two will hit it off. I'm astounded by the absolute audacity of visitors to the library who don't put away their books, astounded and annoyed as I have to carry the last of them up the stairs to the 3rd floor. Heaven's library is massive, 3 stories open in the middle to the ground level with everything adorned in gold, brass, and white marble. In addition to putting away the books, I also have to make sure everyone is gone so we can close up. The last books to return are large ones from the back of the building, which gives me the opportunity to finish making sure we're empty. With Cellophil already working in the party hall, I don't feel any pressure to hurry up and get there. The noise, the expectation, the attention, it's all awful. Except for the thought of walking into that party with the music and laughter and mass of bodies parting as I enter, leaving a path to the famed Prince of Hell. I know only vague details about Asmodeus's looks, but in my mind, he's beautiful. I know his hair is long and black, I know his skin is dark, and I know his smile could stop hearts. Imagining that, through Cell, I might have a chance to experience him. Well, those thoughts are likely part of the reason I don't really belong in heaven. Even if things were perfect, and he did like me, I'm not sure what I'd do after. No relationship I've been in has lasted long, and I'm not exactly a seductress by any stretch of the imagination. Intimacy doesn't come easy to me, and I've been told by more than a few beings that I'm boring. I stopped trying a long time ago, content to remain in the library and gossip with Cell. We have that in common. I can't recall him ever seeing anyone either. At least not seriously, and absolutely not more than once on the rarest of times I've tried to bully him into finding someone to be with. Like me, he's content to be alone. When I finally get to the last book, I take my time in getting it back to its home. The library is dead silent, and I'm certain no one will be in the dusty back section. Even when we're busy, no one normally wanders this far. Knowing that makes it surprising to find that I'm not the only poor lost thing left here. Right where I need to return the book is a tall, thin man, not unlike Cell, standing unflinching as I come up to him. Hello there, sir? I try to sound as polite as possible. The man only grins at me, long and shiny silver hair framing his gaunt face. He looks familiar to me, though far off, like I should absolutely know him. But I just can't place where from, or even what his name is. This isn't exactly uncommon. I've had more than one issue with the angels in charge of heaven for not recognizing them or others of importance. My dear Calliope, hello. His voice is deep, very deep, and smooth like water. Him knowing my name solidifies that I should know who he is, but I can't find his name in my mind. Not attending the party tonight? No, I have some other plans. It's easy for me to lie, but I'm not sure why I feel compelled to. Are you going? No, I don't believe so. I don't like attending events without a proper companion, and mine has been unavailable for some time now. Oh! I don't have a real response. It doesn't seem to bother him. Imagine hiding a thing like you away in a library. It's a shame. Why don't you do something a bit more prestigious? I like it here. I sound unnecessarily defensive. Of course you do, he laughs. I shouldn't be surprised. I'm sorry, but Oh, my sweet thing. Am I in your way? He points to the book in my hand, and I nod, forcing a smile. The emphasis on the word my, like he really meant his, prompts a feeling in the bottom of my heart that I need to get away from him. He doesn't hesitate to take the book and place it gently where it's supposed to go, the only gap in the shelf, and I'm too nervous to stop him. Looks like your job is done. I suppose it is. I can walk you back to the front so I can lock the doors and get as far away from you as possible. I'll follow your lead, my dear. The tone in his voice when he says the last word makes my skin crawl. I don't let the discomfort reach my face. So, if you're not going to the party, what are your plans for tonight? Small talk is truly a punishment only hell could have come up with. I had been planning on catching up with some old friends, he shrugs. But you're much more interesting to me. I think I'd like to get to know you. Oh, the front doors have never been more a welcome sight. This being knows me, and if I insult him, I'll never hear the end of it. Well, maybe another night. Sellafiel is expecting me, and I'm late, so he must be worried about leaving something so delicate all alone like this. The man almost sounds mocking, and it makes a pit in my stomach travel to my throat, cutting off anything that I wish I were strong enough to say. He will be looking for me. I push the front door open a little too hard and barely manage to keep myself from flying into the street as to put as many bodies between me and him as possible. If anyone notices, they don't show it. Though this is one time that I wish someone would actually notice me. I wouldn't mind visiting him myself. We've known each other quite a long time, really. He takes his time exiting the library, hardly leaving an arm's length between us as I maneuver around a large front door. The realm is too big for a little one like yourself to be out all alone. You should allow me to escort you. I'm actually fine. I begin to panic, closing the door, unable to engage the lock with my shaking hand while trying to mask my mounting anxiety. I jump when an arm slides around my shoulders. For a split moment, I think Sellafiel really did come to check on me. But when I look up, it isn't him, and it also isn't the library creep. Instead, I'm met with a strikingly handsome demon with warm copper skin and mossy green eyes, smiling at me in a way that makes me momentarily distracted. He barely gives me the time to react before he puts himself between me and the man, who now isn't smiling and is instead glaring at the one saving me. I'm sorry it took me so long to find ya, Allie. The man's voice is deep and luxurious like satin on skin. I'm not blind to the fact that he also knows my name. I'm only choosing the hopefully lesser of two evils. You're late. I had to lock up alone. I look hard into his eyes and hope that he can sense my urgency. Sellafiel was expecting me at the hall by now. I'm sure he'll understand. He smiles at me, and I don't find anything about him that makes me nervous or anxious. Something small in the way that he looks at me makes me feel safe. He turns to the man and his grip on me tightens. We have to be going. Enjoy yourself tonight, is all the goodbye he gives the man before he turns me around and guides me at a fast pace in the direction of the party hall. Thank you, I say in a hushed voice as we walk with his arm still protectively around me. I don't think the lock is actually engaged for the library, and I don't think I care. How much damage could anyone do to a library anyway? Are you okay? He finally slows down. He glances behind us, and I do too, noting the creep hasn't even tried to follow us. We can't see him anymore, but the anxiety he stirred up hasn't gone away. The demon drops his arm and lets me walk at my own pace. Yeah, he was just... I'm fine. You didn't know him? No, and I don't know you either. It sounds a little more harsh than I intended, though it's still true. For a moment, he appears conflicted, like he's keeping himself from saying something, before he puts on a charming smile and sighs a little too dramatically. I'm sorry. That was rude of me. I'm Asmodeus. I'm sure you've heard of me? Oh. I know I'm turning red as the realization washes over me. Sellafiel said that he'd be here, but somehow he's nothing like I pictured, and yet so familiar to me still. His smile is undeniably charming, and I have no problem imagining why he has the reputation that he does. I'll explain later, but we have to talk to Sellafield immediately. His tone makes it clear that this is not a question or a suggestion. We? It's a long story. Trust me? I don't know you, I repeat myself. Though Sellafield seems to like him enough, I don't trust that easily. There's a difference between my daydreams and whatever is happening now. This is real. Wouldn't you like to? Asmodeus offers his hand to me. I hesitate, looking into his eyes for any hint of what I should do. As I stare, I find myself met by the same feeling that calls for me from beyond the gates. Now it's right in front of me, stronger than ever, finally giving me a choice. My hand slips into his, as if it was made to be there, and he holds on, like I might slip away. Though he begins to walk fast, I don't have any issues keeping up with him. For as fast as we walk, my thoughts run faster through the things that just happened. When we arrive at the party hall, it's fairly deserted. With Sel's excellent planning, tonight it'll be bustling with music and lively beings enjoying the brief union heaven hosts between all the realms that wish to participate. How is this the biggest concern only earlier today? Why does it feel meaningless now? Did I do something wrong? I worry as I still try to figure out who that being was and why he had made me so uncomfortable, and why he seemed to enjoy doing it. Telling Sellafield I most likely upset an important library patron feels like the worst thing that I could do. I'm used to knowing I've disappointed Michael or the other heavenly rulers, but Sellafield's opinion actually matters to me. No, you didn't. Asmodeus's charming smile falters for a second before he pushes the great doors open and I can see the massive angels working on the decorations. Sellafield himself is animatedly chatting with another less important angel. When he looks up to see me, he seems happy, but his grin grows when he sees Asmodeus with me. Looks like fate works faster than I do. Sellafield waves off the angels and meets us halfway. How did you two meet? At the library. Asmodeus is quiet as he speaks. Sel. She wasn't alone. What do you mean? He looks at me, puzzled, then back to Asmodeus. He found her. He? What are you? Sellafield mumbles before his eyes widen with fear. Are you okay? He turns to me immediately and looks behind us at the partially open door, as if someone might burst in through it. Yeah, she's fine, but you have to get her out of here, Sellafield says, looking around us frantically. You understand why that's a bad idea, Sel, right? You should... Asmodeus, though not as panicked as Sellafield, still sounded extremely concerned. I will deal with Michael. If Emmanuel is here, she can't be. Don't let her out of your sight. Sel, I try to speak up, but my friend hushes me. Allie, you're in danger, and we don't have time to explain why right now. No matter what happens, don't leave Asmodeus for any reason until I see you again. Do you understand me? Where should I even take her? Asmodeus asks, his voice lowered. Take her to your father. He'll know what to do. We can hide her in hell while we figure something out. I'll get Michael and meet you there. Hell? I blurt out a little too loudly. My chest constricts, and I feel the tension suddenly begin to suffocate me. I've never even left heaven. I can't go. Allie, my love, I need you to trust me. I can't lose you. That being cannot find you again, Sel says softly, with fear in his eyes. Asmodeus is going to protect you, and we will explain everything, but you need to go. Right now. Though I want to argue, I've never seen Sel so frightened by anything. The look on his face is jarring, and all I can do is nod and hope that he's right, that I can just trust this demon prince that I've never met before to take me to a realm that I've never been before, and that I'll be safe from a threat that I know nothing about.